Okay, I'm back for now. I've been traveling around the world and I've decided to stay back in the USA. Hopefully, that means that I'll be able to produce more content, answer some more questions, and instead of bouncing around country to country like I have been the past 6 months or so. Anyways, someone asked an interesting question today. He said, Greg, I'm actually interested in fluids, so could this be a good choice of specialization? Thank you again. And I will say that fluids in mechanical engineering is not my specialty. I've done it, I've studied it in school, I've done some of it at work, and that included a little bit of CFD or computational fluid dynamics. And I've done some programming related to it, and I've done some calculations by hand. Now, most of those were what you would call internal hydraulics, where you're talking about fluid flow in a pipe, in a heat exchanger, or something where the flow is confined. If you're an aerospace engineer, you may be more interested in external hydraulics or external aerodynamics, where you have something like a wing with the flow going over it. And if that's your specialty, it'll be a little bit different. As an undergrad, you'll get exposed to most everything. You'll get to choose some courses. I took an aerodynamics course. You learn about incompressible flow, which includes high-speed flow at faster than the speed of sound. It deals with choked flow, where especially if you have a piping system with compressed air, it'll get choked and reach supersonic or really just Mach 1 speed or sonic speed right at an exit somewhere, and that'll limit the velocity through the pipe through the whole system. That's what you learn in undergrad. If you go on to graduate school, which depending on what you're going to do, I may or may not recommend, you would learn more. But as undergraduate, you would probably get to exposed to definitely internal flow as part of basic fluid mechanics. And if you opt to take aerodynamics, you'll get exposed to that. I personally think, this is my opinion, there's more job opportunities for internal flow, because everyone has to, in every industry, almost anybody to make something has to use heat exchangers, piping, and things like that. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning is a huge branch of mechanical engineering, and it seems to be, especially with a lot of construction going on, a lot of demand for these engineers. But that may not be that interesting to you. If you learn more about fluid flow and heat exchangers, and as well as the manufacturing techniques and the structure and the vibration issues, especially flow-induced vibration issues inside heat exchangers, you're going to be ahead of the bunch because you could help design some of these things. But you typically don't learn a lot about this in undergrad. It's a good question. It just depends on what you really desire. If you want to go internal, external, if you want to look, or if you're more interested in looking for solid jobs, or if you just want to chase your dream. And either is fine. It's really up to you. The main thing I would say is that if you are interested in something like aerodynamics and external aerodynamics, I would try to find a lab at your college where they are building and testing and actually flying model airplanes, or even adding like little tiny things to a Cessna and things like that. And those exist. Those existed in the university I went to. I would actively seek those out and do what I could to contribute in some way. You'll learn a lot more that way than just in classes. And I hope that's helpful, and I'll talk to you later.